We're back with Sophie, and it's the day before your test, isn't it?
Yep.
So tell me what you were about to say at the beginning of the lesson when we got in the car.
Oh,
Did you say you were dreaming?
yeah, I had a stress dream.
You were dreaming.
Yeah, I had a stress dream about it.
What happened?
I don't really remember. I just remember I did the test, but all the most difficult things that I struggle with came up on it. And then afterwards, I think I just got out and I was like, that was terrible.
And did you pass or fail?
I have no idea. I woke up, I was so stressed. I woke
you wake up with sweat on?
Yes, I did. It was awful.
Do you know what? This might surprise you, or it might not surprise you, but lots of people go through the driving test dream a couple of days before the test.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite common.
I'm really glad about
that. They'll wake up and before the end, when I say to them, "Did you pass?" I can't remember. I woke up.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
So it's quite common. It's obviously a bit of anxiety creeping into your dreams, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how would you feel about the test?
Nervous.
Nervous? Reckon you got a good chance of passing?
I have no idea.
Well, you can drive, can't you?
I can drive.
Yeah.
But
we done a mock test last week, and it's probably the worst you've driven, isn't it?
Yeah, by far ever. It was worse than the first time I think I got in a car. It was terrible.
Everything kind of went wrong for you, didn't it? And then when the mock test was finished, you just drove quite nice again. It's people overthink things, and if people are in the same situation as Sophie at the moment, and they've got the test coming up, you just need to kind of try and get your head around the fact that it's just a drive. It's a safety thing, and that's what the exam wants to try and do. See off you. Think of it like this: I'm ill for the day, or your instructor's ill for the day. Which is the manoeuvre you're dreading?
Manoeuvre?
Or are you happy with your manoeuvres?
Probably reverse bay parking.
Reverse bay park? You just done it a few minutes ago, it's fine.
I know, but it's the most... I don't know. I find it the most difficult.
Yeah. And which is the easiest one?
Forward bay parking.
Forward bay parking. There'd be a few people that are saying, I got the right, that easy. Well, it can't be easy if it's a busy road, can it? Because you've got to give way to lots of people. Where if you go into a car park, you know reasonably what you can do with a forward bay park. It tends to be straightforward.
Yeah.
Happy with the questions? 50-50?
Yeah.
So if you got a question wrong on the test, what would happen?
You'd get a fault.
Get a fault? You wouldn't fail, would you? But obviously we don't want to give them the opportunity to give you a fault.
No.
So we're going to have a go at the questions again in a few minutes. Test is only 40 minutes. I think what they say is something like it lasts between 38-40 minutes depending on the road traffic conditions.
Yeah.
Like that. Some of them take less than that. Depends on the traffic, doesn't it? You know, you could come to a roundabout completely clear, so the next 3-4 roundabouts you come to, everything's flowing your way, and before you know it, you're back at the test centre, one of the first, which will be great.
Yeah.
Anything you want to ask me about the driving test?
I think I've asked
anything. All right. Just bring your licence. That's what you need. People think about the theory test. You can bring that along if you've got it. If you haven't got it, don't worry about it. They tend to ask you for your licence. That's the main thing. If you pass, which we hope you do, because we know you can drive, then they'll take the licence off you. Unless you want to keep it, that is. They'll say, should we process a licence? And the answer is yes. They do all the work then. And before you know it, it comes back within a week usually now. It's pretty quick there.
What happens if you need it within that week?
Then you say to them, no, can I keep it? And then what happens then is they'll say to you, well, you need to go to a post office and get a form. I think it's D1 or D2 form, which is a form you fill in and send off to the DVLA. Not the DVSA, DVLA, I think it is. And then it comes back to you then. Okay. And anyone who's moving house, by the way, just make sure you've got the correct address on your license, because it will get sent to the license address. There was an incident about 6 months ago at a test centre where there's a guy there, probably in his 50s, and I thought he was the instructor, and he wasn't. He was actually someone taking his test. They went out on his driving test, so I asked the instructor there, what's he taking? Well, he's doing a retake, and he passed his test 30 years earlier. And 30 years ago, it was they didn't have the photo ID. It was paper. And what used to happen, which is when you pass, the examiner would pass it back to you, and you would send it off. You go to post office, get a form, and send it all off. And he forgot to do that. So if you're driving around for 30 years as provisional, but he thought he passed it. It did pass, but after a year, you've got a year to kind of process it, and if you don't pass it in a year, you've got to retake your test.
Oh no!
So that's what happened, and I think that still stands now. If you don't process it within a year, it becomes void.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So hopefully everything goes according to plan. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's happened. Concentrate on for the next 5-10 seconds what's happening ahead and around you, and try and put things behind you, because everyone makes mistakes. And if you don't pass, which half the people in the UK don't pass today, that's why the pass rate's about 50% average, then we rebook your test, and we book it for a date that's convenient for you. And if it ends up being months away, we'll just put your lesson on hold for a few months until you get closer to your test, and then restart your lesson that way. But if we can manage to kind of get a test and bring it close, and that's what we do. And then the test report gets sent to your email address. So when you pass, it goes to your email address saying, well done, you passed, but you've got a few faults, or you've got no faults. And if you don't pass, it say, unfortunately, you're not passed today. Here's all the mistakes you've made. And then we print that off and we work on that. And we just try to improve things. So to say, there's never a guarantee whether you're going to pass or fail. Because, obviously we want everyone to pass. But it's all down to how you handle the day, how you handle the tricky things ahead. Yeah, there's always going to be silly things happening on the driving test. Either people pulling out of driveways without looking, people stepping out, or even bin trucks around causing problems for you. But you come across all these sorts of things over the last few months, so you know what to deal with. If you don't hear the examiner saying things to you, what can you say?
What do you mean?
Just say they set of instructions. What can you say to them?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
So just say the examiner says to you, we're going to turn left, or we're going to take the second left, and you miss it because you're concentrating on something else. So what can you do at that point?
Go the way you're going.
Well, if you heard what he said, then you're fine. But if you don't hear what he said, just say, can you repeat that, please? I didn't hear you.
I misheard what you said there, so that.
So ask him to repeat it then, don't you?
Yeah, that's quite funny.
Don't be afraid to ask him. And if it's a sat nav and you can't hear the volume, ask him to turn the volume up. Or if the volume is putting you off, ask him to turn it down. And like today, we've had the music on, haven't we, the last few lessons. We'll leave the music on, but if it's low, they're not going to say anything. They'll leave it on.
Yeah.
Because they know it's what you want to help you relax. All right. Okay. So get a good night's sleep tonight. That's what they say.
Try my best.
Try not to worry. It's only a lesson, thing like that. Okay. Wish her good luck, everyone, and I'll put a comment at the end what happens on the test for her. Take care, everybody.